Hello everybody, welcome back and welcome to yet another video. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you decide to stick around. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to be a part of the fam. This community here on my channel is really awesome. And if you want to join, you are definitely more than welcome. So for today's video, we are going to be testing out a ton of new makeup. I've got new releases here from Makeup Forever, Morphe, Hourglass, Marc Jacobs. I even have some products that aren't necessarily new, but I just haven't tried before that I give you guys my first impressions on. And I'm also doing some check-ins because in my past testing new makeup videos, you guys have been telling me that you would really love to see me incorporate check-ins into these videos. And I totally agree. It's definitely way more helpful than just putting them on, giving you guys my first impressions, and just like leaving you there high and dry. I'm gonna give you guys instead my opinion on how the product wears throughout the whole entire day. So hope you guys are going to enjoy today's video. And if you have tried any of the products that I'm trying out today, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on them. I would really love to get some other opinions, and I'm sure everybody else will love to hear other opinions in the comment section as well. And also do not forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed these testing new makeup videos. These are some of my personal favorite videos to film. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's prime. This is probably one of the most hyped up Instagram products out there. It is the Farsali Rose Gold Elixir 24 karat gold infused beauty oil. Very fancy. Now you may recognize this oil because people drench their faces with this, especially in Instagram videos. So I have always been really curious to see like if this actually is like a wonderful product. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's like actual gold flakes in the oil. That is beautiful. Okay, so let's do it like the Instagram models do it. We're crying oil tears. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit like all over my face. It's dripping down and I'm just gonna massage this into my skin. So far so good, feels like a normal oil. Please let me know in the comments if any of you have tried the Farsali oils and what your thoughts are on them. Like, do you find that they make a big difference in the way that you apply your foundation, or do you think that they're just like any other oil out there? I would really love to know what you guys think about them. Now that I'm all oiled up, it is time to apply the foundation. I'm going to be using the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. This is the brand new foundation from NARS. And no, this is not the full-size bottle. Could you imagine? That would be like a sick joke. The full-size bottle actually looks like this. I did get this in PR. So in like the PR box, they sent me 3 of like the full-size foundations, but unfortunately the colors that they sent over do not match me, so I am using instead one of the samples that they sent over. So let me just like throw out the facts for this foundation so that we know what we're getting into. The shade range seems to look really nice. There are a really nice amount of deep dark shades, which is what I did notice first. It says that it is a foundation with up to 16 hours of lightweight, natural, fade-resistant wear featuring full powered radiance to smooth the look of skin, and it's supposed to be medium to full coverage with a natural finish. It does retail for $60 Canadian, so it is definitely a pricier foundation. And in the full-size version, of course, there's 1 fluid ounce, which is pretty standard for foundations, and the bottle is really pretty and it comes with a pump. So the color that I'm going to be using today is the shade Light 3 Gobi. Not really sure how to say that one. So I'm just going to start to apply it to my skin. I'm going to take my beauty blender for this one and start to pounce it in. If you were not aware, by the way, like if you're new to my channel, I do have a drier skin type that matches me actually perfectly. That is not too yellow at all. So the coverage does seem to be about a medium. I really like the way that this looks. I like that I'm able to see some of my like natural skin through. So let's see if we could build this up just a little bit. I want to build it up on my nose area for sure, because these glasses indents are not being covered up, which is the most annoying thing ever. Okay, so I don't really feel like this is a super buildable foundation. I'm trying to build up the coverage around my cheeks and my nose area, and it's not really building up. It's sort of just looking the same. We'll see what it looks like in a little bit, but so far, so good. So we're gonna prime our eyes first, and I'm gonna use this cream eyeshadow from Nabla, and this is in the shade Morning Glory. And it's basically just like a nude cream eyeshadow, so I figure that this would work really nice, hopefully, as an eyeshadow primer. Normally, if I'm using like a cream eyeshadow as a base, I don't like to pile it on. I like to use as little product as possible. This sort of reminds me of Painterly Paint Pot from MAC. It's like a very similar undertone. So now it's time to move on to the eyeshadow. Now I actually asked you guys on my Instagram stories what eyeshadow you wanted to see me use in today's video. And I put it between the Makeup Forever, like the new single eyeshadows, or the Morphe 24G Grand Glam palette. But it was basically almost 50-50. The Makeup Forever eyeshadows were winning by just a little bit. So I figured I would use both because I actually don't have enough eyeshadows from the Makeup Forever singles to create a full eye look. These are all the singles that I have. It's a little bit like all over the place, so I needed like a few eyeshadows to sort of fill in the gaps. So I figured that using the Morphe 24G was a good option. So this is what the Morphe 24G palette looks like. The pan size in this palette is significantly larger than the normal pan size that they have in their other palettes. Normally Morphe palettes don't wow me as far as like the color combinations. I'm not usually like super inspired by them, but when I opened up this particular palette, I was very inspired by it. I just really like the fact that there are some like rosier tones in here. This color in particular really caught my eye. And then as far as the Makeup Forever single eyeshadows, they completely like redesigned and reformulated their single eyeshadow formula. For me, the Makeup Forever eyeshadows in the single pans were some of my all-time favorite eyeshadows like on the market. I found them to be like superior quality. The only downside was really the price. So I'm very, very interested to see how these are going to perform. So I'm gonna go into my fluffy brush. This is my Morphe M502, and I'm gonna take this shade right over here. This is the shade M738, and I'm going to just pop this right above my crease. And this is gonna be our transition shade. I'm only going in with a very small amount, keeping in mind that these are really pigmented. So literally like gently graze the eyeshadow with your brush. You don't want to go in too hard if you want this to be more like diffuse color. Okay, now I'm gonna go into a smaller blending brush. This is my Sigma E25, and I'm going to go into this shade right over here. It's a really pretty like rosy, deep, warm brown, and I'm gonna apply this shade more so like in my crease, so just below that transition shade that we just applied. I would also like to note that the Nabla cream eyeshadow completely set down. It feels like very slightly tacky, but it's not too tacky that it's grabbing onto the eyeshadow in like weird ways. So I feel like this is definitely going to be like a good base for the eyeshadow. Okay, I'm gonna deepen things up just a little bit more. I'm gonna take my MAC 221. This is a really nice, more detailed blending brush. And I'm gonna take this shade right over here. It's one of the deepest shades in this palette. And I'm going to put that even more precisely into the crease. So now I'm going to apply the lid shade, and this is probably my favorite shade that I have here in my little Makeup Forever single eyeshadow collection, and this one is ME612. So ME means metallic in the Makeup Forever language, and this is a beautiful like purpley taupe shade. It looks like a taupe until you shift your hand back and forth, and then it has the most gorgeous like pinky purple shift to it. Okay, so I'm going to apply this with a brush. I'm curious to see how this is going to apply with a brush without any help of like Fix Plus or anything like that. So I'm gonna take my Smith 302. This is one of my favorite brushes to use when I am using a more metallic shade because it's synthetic and it's very precise. It seems to be applying really, really nicely dry. But I mean, if you wanna make an eyeshadow more intense, especially if it's a metallic or if it has any type of sheen in it, putting some setting spray is never a bad idea. It will just like boost it up a bit. But this is definitely applying still very, very nicely. So now I'm gonna go back into the Morphe palette and I'm gonna take this shade right over here. This is like a metallic pink, and I'm gonna just pop this right in the center of my lid just to add a little bit more dimension to the look. And then I'm like taking my clean finger and sort of just blending out those edges. And it just adds a little bit of something extra. Another one of the Makeup Forever single eyeshadows. This is ME512. It's a really pretty like soft gold. This will work very nicely as like a little highlight shade. I'm just gonna pop this right onto my brow bone. So just to finish off like my upper lid, I'm gonna take this NYX That's the Point Put a Wing on It artistry liner. This is one of their new liquid eyeliners that they released not too long ago. I have tried another one of these from the collection, but I've never tried this one in particular. Oh, holy shit. That is not what I expected. This is a jumbo marker. Should I risk it all and put this on my eyes? Let's see. I'm gonna create a wing on my upper lash line. Everybody hold their breath for me, please and thank you. It applied pretty easily, and I really found it just very easy to create a wing. Really interested to see how this is gonna wear throughout the day. Fingers crossed it does not smudge all over my face. Now it is time to apply some concealer. So for my concealer today, I'm gonna take this Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-hour breathable concealer. First of all, Who's wearing their concealer for 25 hours? And it's so funny that they put 25 hours and not 24 hours. They're basically telling you this is gonna last for a day and 1 hour, but no longer. So it's supposed to be a lightweight, medium coverage concealer, and today I'm gonna be using 001 Light Ivory. And it comes with this sponge applicator. I'm just going to start to apply this on my face. Ooh, this color, a little bit light. And I'm gonna grab my sponge and blend that out. I find that it actually looks really similar to the Bare Minerals serum concealer that I use and rave about all the time. It makes my under eyes look very like hydrated. So far, I'm liking the way this is looking. Again, excited to see how this is gonna wear throughout the day. I am gonna set my under eyes just very, very lightly with some powder. So I'm just gonna take my Sigma F35, and I don't have a new powder to use today, so I'm just gonna take my tried and true Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish powder, and I'm taking a very small amount and just patting this underneath my eyes. So now I'm gonna just finish off the eyes so that we can move on to the rest of the face. And I feel like I have no choice but to use this pink shade right in the middle, because I feel like if I don't use it, you guys are gonna be like, Jamie, why didn't you use that like one really interesting shade in the Morphe palette? So I'm gonna do that for you. I'm gonna put this on my lower lash line, and I'm taking my Morphe E18 brush. It's gonna add also a very like subtle pop of color. Pink shades could sometimes just be not super flattering, but I'm okay to go out of my comfort zone today for you guys, but I will try and make this like as wearable as possible. I'm gonna go into a clean blending brush into that like Makeup Forever rose shade that I used first, and I'm just gonna use that to buff this out. So I find the best way to make an unwearable color a little bit more wearable, especially on the lower lash line, is to put a really deep color right across the lash line so that it peeks through rather than it being like the statement color. And I find that that just grounds it a little bit more and makes it just, you know, not as intense. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back into that deep dark shade that we used into the crease. And I'm just taking a teeny tiny little pencil brush. This is my Zoeva 240. And I'm just gonna put this onto my lower lash line really, really tight to my lashes. And you're gonna see that this is gonna like instantly make this so much more wearable. This is my Real Techniques, I think it's called like the detail brush, and I'm gonna go into that Makeup Forever highlight shade that I used on my brow bone, and I'm finally gonna put this on the inner corner of my eye to highlight since we have that concealer down. Oh my God, this is like the prettiest color. Okay, eyes are finally done. I feel like I've been working on them for the last hour. It is time to finally apply mascara. Do I have any mascara to use? Let me see if I have one in my collection. Hold, please. So I found one. I've actually never used this Tarte mascara before, and I've heard really good things about this one. It is the Gifted Mascara. I'm just gonna load this up on my upper as well as my lower lashes. This is definitely a mascara that you have to build up in order to get like a wow factor to your lashes, because on the first coat it didn't really like wow me or anything. It just made my lashes look like they were lightly coated with a black mascara, but I felt like the more I built it up, the more intense my lashes got, and it didn't clump up or get weird or anything, and it actually just made my lashes look more intense. It's not super like volumizing and super lengthening. It sort of just like sits in the middle. It's not my Maybelline Lash Sensational. So I have a new brow product from Hourglass. This is the Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil in the shade Dark Brunette. So you have the actual brow pencil on one side and the little spoolie on the other. And the brow pencil is very reminiscent of the Anastasia Brow Definer. It's that same like triangular shaped pencil. So I'm just gonna start off by creating small strokes. Oh baby, that color match though. It always is just so satisfying when you find a brow product that just matches your brows perfectly, because it just creates such like a seamless effect. Product is gliding on really, really smoothly. I'm not like dragging on my skin. It's sort of just applying really easily. I'm actually really liking this. I've said this before, but I really find that most brow products are very similar to one another. It's very hard to find like a brow product that is actually unique, that has like a different formula. I find that they all sort of do the same thing. Whereas this one, I do feel like there is a slight difference in the formula. I find it's way creamier than other brow products that I've tried in this format. Creamier brow products, although they apply to the skin a lot nicer, they won't last as long because they sort of like move around throughout the day. So maybe my brow will end up here by the end. I don't know, we'll find out. So in this little brow collection, they also came out with two gels. We have the brow shaping gel and then the Brow Voluminizing Fiber Gel. So the shaping gel just looks like a normal like gel for your eyebrows, and then the other brow gel is supposed to have fibers in it, so it's supposed to essentially like thicken your brow, very similar to like Benefit Give Me Brow. It's definitely giving my brows like a very feathery effect. Like I feel like it's almost separating each brow hair and making them all look very, very defined. But you can see small little like complaint right over here. Some of the product rubbed off because this is where I don't really have a lot of hair. It's mostly just like skin, so I always need a product that's going to actually last, especially in this area, because otherwise it'll just wipe away and I'll have a gap in my brow. So it looks like it did wipe away and didn't like totally stick to my skin, so I'm gonna just reapply that. So now here's the official before and after. We have the naked brow and then the filled in brow. Naked, filled in. Holy shit, such a big difference, it's crazy. So I'm gonna bronze on my face with another Nabla product. Super excited to try this one. It looks like such a pretty shade. It's their bronzer in Saint Tropez. It seems to have like a very slight sheen to it. There's no glitter or shimmer in it. It's almost completely matte, but it does have that like little bit of glow. Now I have been trying the Nabla Prada products. I haven't tried this one, but I've tried like other blush shades and stuff. My only problem with them is that I find that they smell sort of off-putting to me. Like they have like this weird almost like chemically scent to them, which I don't really like, so that's like my only negative with the Nabla products, but they just look so nice. Like I haven't tried any that I haven't liked so far. I'm going to just take a cargo blush that I have in my collection. This is in the shade Mendoncino. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's just like a really pretty rose color blush. I actually really like this. I haven't used it in a very long time, but it used to be a blush that I would wear all the time. I remember even mentioning this in one of my favorites a very long time ago. Cargo blushes are very pretty, so I'm just gonna apply that to the apples of my cheeks. Holy shit, that's intense. It's not what I expected. Now the highlighter, another product that I'm super excited to try out. This is the new cream highlighter from Hourglass. This one is in the shade Champagne Flash. I cannot wait to see what this is gonna look like. I love a good cream highlighter. I find that they're always so pretty and they look way more natural looking than powder highlighters. Ooh, very pretty. So that is what the highlighter looks like. It definitely looks way more subtle than I expected. I'm sure it would be like way more intense if you literally drew it on the top of your cheekbones, but I don't really want to do that because I don't want to pick up and remove like the makeup that's underneath it. So last but not least, let's put on the lips. Now I have these very interesting products from Marc Jacobs. These are called the Le Marc Liquid Lip Crayon. I have the shade Said Nudes, which is probably what I'm going to be wearing, and then I have more of like a raspberry shade, and this one is in the shade From Boisse. Okay, the formula is really soft. It's so creamy that it's like not holding its shape at all as I apply it. That's just slightly concerning, but oh my god. Oh god, I just like got a chunk off. I'm just blotting off a little bit because I feel like I applied too much because it's so freaking creamy. No, it looks like such a mess. Okay, wait, I need to fix this. Hold please, BRB. Okay, so I have some thoughts about this formula already and I just applied it. I don't know if like the heat affected this product because my apartment is pretty hot since it's so cold outside. The heat is on full blast in here, so I don't know if like it melted the product a little bit. And I also did not expect this color to have a metallic sheen. I looked really closely like as I was cleaning up my lip line and I realized that it wasn't like completely flat. It has this like very subtle metallic sheen to it, which I don't usually like. Like I don't like metallic lipsticks at all, but I feel like the sheen is very subtle, so it's not like super noticeable. And I also noticed that it has set down slightly on my lips. It feels like it is locked and loaded on my lips, although I don't think it's transfer proof. Let me see. Yeah, not transfer proof. So currently I can't even believe it, but it's 11:57. It's basically noon. So of course I'm going to keep you guys updated throughout the day on my vlog camera, let you know how everything's wearing. We will find out all together and I will see you guys in the next check. All right guys, it is time for the first update. Right now it is already 3 p.m. So it's been 3 hours I think since first applying everything. So let's look in the mirror and see how things are looking. So first things first, let's talk about the foundation. It looks very dewy on my skin right now. Like my skin has a really nice healthy shine, although I still feel like it's settling in like my spine lines over here. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you could really see. It's like, it looks a little bit dry in this area. That area almost always looks dry though. I really feel like the lip has set down quite a bit more. Like it really feels like it is like almost suction cupped to my lips, very similar to how a liquid lipstick feels. It's definitely a little bit drying and it's more transfer proof than before. Look at this. There's really almost nothing that comes off. Very, very small amount. I've been doing work all afternoon, nothing exciting going on, so I'm just gonna check in with you guys a little bit later. Okay guys, it is time for the very final update. I know I only did 2 updates today, but it's been a very, very crazy day. So right now it is midnight and I'm so ready to take this makeup off of my face and take a shower and go to sleep. Anyways, I've had this makeup on for about 12 hours now, and this is what it looks like at the end of that. So just to state the obvious, as you can probably tell, I'm not wearing the lip color anymore, and that's because it got really uncomfortable after about like 3 hours or so. It just kept getting like increasingly more dry, so I felt like I really had to take it off. So for me, the lip color just wasn't my favorite. I just didn't really like the way that it felt on my lips. The foundation though, do you see how just glowy my skin looks right now? I don't know how this would do with people who have more of like an oilier skin type. I don't know if it would be almost too glowy, because I think this is a pretty glowy foundation. And I really feel like there has been very minimal fading on my face. Like it has lasted really, really well. There's a little bit of fading on my chin, but that's because I usually rest my hand there. But I'm really happy with the way things are looking. I just love the way my skin is like glowing. I feel like it looks so healthy and nice. When I look a little bit close, like around my smile lines, it definitely looks a little bit dry, but that is the only area where it looks dry on my face. The eyeshadows lasted pretty well. I didn't really expect that they wouldn't though. The eyeliner lasted okay. I almost feel like it got less black and intense throughout the day, which is weird. I feel like it almost looks like a dark gray now. So I'm not loving that. I feel like I have other eyeliners that perform a little bit better in this amount of time. The mascara didn't flake or smudge anywhere. I have a little bit of like black over here, like the smallest amount, but nothing crazy. That's pretty normal for any mascara. And then as far as the eyebrows go, I feel like they did smudge a little bit. I was right, because it is like a creamier formula. It doesn't like hold on to the skin and the brow hairs quite as much as like a stiffer formula. So I think that sort of concludes all of the major updates for this video. Let me know down below if I should continue to do the check-ins when I do my testing new makeup, or if I should just do the first impressions and that's it. Would love to get your opinion on that. Of course, give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy first impressions and testing new makeup and all that jazz, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I'm going to go to sleep now because I am exhausted. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.